Hey, what's happening? We back, baby. Another episode. I said I'm gonna go ahead and start running this shit through my YouTube channel for right now. See if I can try to get my views up on YouTube. And when I do my interviews or whatever, I can use Zoom. But man, I want to welcome y'all back to another broadcast episode of the Red Room. And I am your gracious host, Brito the Underdog. So tonight's topic, man, we're gonna be talking about self-hatred, self-hate. You know what I'm saying? And we've been seeing it a lot as of lately. It seems like more corrupt and more racism come out. There's so many black people, man, that's coming out and being the mouthpiece for these wicked people that has always been uh, a cancer to this earth on all four corners. I was gonna have my cousin in here tonight, Miss Mandy, because I put up a post today on Facebook, man, and we're talking about Candace Owens and I use the self hate, and she was like, "How does that self hate?" Because she speak her mind and whatever, and the third and fourth, but I guess she had other things to do. Because I really want to just get a perspective on someone, and I was like, if I have a conversation with somebody like a Candace Owens, man, I can just use the wittiness and the downplaying of racism and what they do. They sprinkle in a little bit of truth, and then a lot of it is just white supremacist rhetoric. And can be easy to be debunked because I mean, like for instance, with Miss Candace Owens, I mean, if you black and you don't see anything dangerous about the rhetoric Candace Owens and really don't see she just really grifting. She really just she really hustling because she know that's what they want to hear. And that's same thing that white people have been doing on the job ever since the Class Act of the Labor Class Act went, when you had to have so many minorities in those unions for them to keep those contracts. So what they'll do, they'll put a buffer class between them and the minority workers or black workers. So I know a lot of you worked on a job that probably worked for a black person. He looked black, but he didn't act black and he didn't think black. He would do you worse, a lot of times worse than a lot of the white Caucasian people. So, but it's basically like so you ask yourself about the Candace Owens, like my cousin, she raised a question like, well, so why are we always why are people like there's a free thinker like Candace Owens and tells the truth and about her people and a lot of people don't want to hear the truth, and why we always got why we can't respect her for her intelligence and being willing to say things that we don't want to hear. And this is the only thing, like our killer argument is this. So if we're speaking on racism, why would Caucasian people that's conservatives give her a platform? So do the conservatives care about the black people that she's talking about? So for the most part, if Tucker Carlson, if he's a racist and he retweets something that Candace Owens says about black people, if I can prove that Tucker Carlson is a racist or he dog whistles, so if he agrees with anything that Candace Owens say, a black woman, right? A black woman says, so you don't think that pretty much like, well, it have to be something for them to agree with a Candace Owens. I mean, at the end of the day, man, we see stuff for what it is, and nobody don't have to tell us otherwise. Like we're gonna believe our lying eyes. So self-hate, where did it come from? Where did self-hatred come from? And I'm gonna say it like this here: every ethnic group, whether it's Asian, whether it's Hispanic, have always had in wars. And everything in the universe is synced the same. So if you look at a pride of lions, fish, any animal that has its own, they're very territorial and they fight over territory. Or if you would try to infiltrate one of those colonies or one of those prides to try to have sex with a female, and it would have always been in internal wars between species, meaning even with humans, even in Egypt, even in Africa, even in Americas. We have always had our own tribes, and we always had tribal differences. But the only thing that the Caucasian done is found a way to infiltrate, right? Infiltrate by using and pitting one against the other. You understand that? Like when you hear black people says black folks sold black people enslaved, white people sold white people enslaved, and vice versa. It can go on and on. So you can't pull one without the other. So, but basically, if we are the minute people, meaning everybody have came and plagiarized and took our spiritual system or all the inventions that we created, you know, even coming from slavery, even before slavery, and we wasn't given any credit for it. And then when a person have power or owns the military, then they can take them things for themselves. So if we are the most inventive, the original man, meaning they have to, when they take everything from us, they have to pull us and destroy us and break us from our tribes. And so we wouldn't know any history of oneself. So the self-hatred, I won't really call it self-hatred, but we have always, as humans, always had distinctive and been tribal, meaning, you know, just like you see animals, that a lot of animals is territorial. You cannot go, one lion cannot go into another lion herd and have sex with its female. Same thing with insects. It's the same thing. So the only thing that the European did was found a way to cause internal wars as far as when they start coming up with governments and things of that nature, and sales and trades. So, but the whole self-hatred that we have here in America, it's basically, if you are colonized by a people, well, when you are colonized by people, meaning when they rule you and overtake you and dominate you, then you are forced the customs, the wisdoms, the language, the name, the tongue, the history, everything of your colonizer. So us being black in America, we are black, but we are really not black. We are double consciousness, because all the black people you see in America, even me, have the mind of a European, because we are educated in Western civilization history. We are not taught our true history. And basically, if we was taught this, and then we come up in America, and then they gave us the religion, and then they gave us a savior, and we all know that when we think of white, they have the resources, they have the riches, and they have to give us a job, and then the savior happens to be Caucasian. Well, that is where I did. Me and Jason Breckenridge did a documentary called But God probably about 4 years ago, and it broke down the psychosis and the psychology of the black man in America and the way that we think, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much it all comes from being dominated. So now it's like, if you are black and you say black power or black first to another black person, especially an elder, they would, in their mind, they would hear that and receive that the same way a Caucasian, the average Caucasian would hear it. It would sound radical. It would sound like that of hate. But every other group does that. You can show them, point it out, but it's kind of like trying to convince them that it's not hate, but put each other first. It's like trying to convince a white person. It's like trying to convince a Caucasian that black first or black power does not mean anti-white. It means we are putting ourselves first. And we are the only people in America when when we start talking about doing things for ourselves, it becomes hate speech. And that is how we have been programmed. That is the dynamic of self-hatred. That is the dynamic of when we have a black business, then the first thing another black person says or finds something negative about that business to where they cannot go back. That is why every time a black person gets ahead and, you know, gets be successful, he either had to be in the Illuminati or he had to do something illegal to get it. That goes back to Mr. Stevenson on Django. Who's that nigga on that nag? And to this date, right now, we are in this position that we are in now because of self-hate. People say, explain it to me, Corey. All over the years, if in your history books, even now, you can go Google or pull up any image of Black people being hung and being tortured in this country. I'm going to say it again. You can go on any site and pull up images of Black folks being tortured, burnt, maimed, hung, or tongue slit out, even in the present time. Like what happened to the brother out there in Jasper. I'm not going to say his name out of respect for the family. And this has been going on. You can pull up those images, right? And it's still happening. So to be a Black person seeing this, with all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on, with everything that's going on in this country and abroad, right? What be in your mind to say, okay, man, maybe it's time for us to unite. Maybe it's time for us, what would make you just even go kill or even deface or just put any kind of gossip or any kind of ill towards another Black person if we was experiencing stuff back then and we experiencing it now? What in your mind or those people's mind, what are they thinking about? Like, where does it come from for you to say, hey, man, we are getting brutalized and getting persecuted and oppressed and still murdered, our kids being killed? So what in another Black person's mind to where they're going to inflict more harm on his fellow Black brother? Right. What kind of psychology? Like, it's a psychopath? I mean, what is that? It's self-hatred. You have been groomed to feel about yourself as inferior. You was groomed to depend on your oppressor. Stockholm syndrome. For a Black woman or a Black man to marry, right? To marry outside of their race or a Caucasian. Not saying that I'm against it. Love is love. That's what y'all say. But to look at a slave movie and to see how our ancestors was raped by men and women, our men and women, and how they forced us to have sex with our parents, right? That was on slave plantations, those breed plantations. What in your right mind where a Black person would want to go lay down and marry and then to go around a Caucasian family? Not saying I'm against it, but what in the psyche? What in the psyche? So we have been groomed to forgive them through the religion, through the belief system that they gave us. They gave us. So we are taught to do that. Just like that Elmer Geiger, the Elmer Geiger case, right? Just like we get on Facebook, if we share an article about a Black person, especially if he's known, Black people will share this and perpetuates the image that society already has about us. Right. And then we are gossip and everything. But then when a Caucasian person does the same crime and somebody shares it, I don't care how heinous it could have been, raped or killed a little kid, nobody shares it. It's psychosis. We are not taught to sit up here and make Caucasians feel uncomfortable. I'm going to say it again. We are taught, we are programmed not to make the Caucasian feel uncomfortable. If anything, we are programmed and groomed to make them feel comfortable. That's why we like to say they're invited to the barbecue, right? And I see a lot of when we come up about self-hate, we used to hear this a lot coming up. I want to make a baby with a white person so my baby can come out pretty with pretty hair, and then you would be teased. Right? You will be teased by another Black person for having kinky hair and big lips. If you see Lil Kim and a lot of entertainers that get a lot of money, what do they do with cosmetic surgery? They shave their noses. Why do they do that? Self-hatred. And self-hatred, people think self-hatred, the only bad version of self-hatred if somebody is murdering another person or stealing from another person or trying to harm another person. but it's the same kind of self-hatred because it's the same energy that is subconsciously, even with a person that goes to work every day and goes to church every day, because a lot of times their self-hatred is it creates the person, the other black person that kills and robs and steals. You understand what I'm saying? It creates that mentality, and it festers. Even the person that stereotype and kick somebody out the church because they had a tight dress or smell look on their breath, or wouldn't give them a ride to work when they was trying. And so it's like, okay, so now if he can't provide for himself, you don't give him a job because something that you didn't heard, because we are the only people that attacks one another, and then we would treat each other different off something somebody didn't heard, or the way somebody else deals with this person. So a lot of self-hatred is in everything, every walk of life in our life, man. And for like a person like a Candace Owens, so you have to sit up here and figure to yourself, why her and like Kanye West, why are they so malice and so nonstop, so constant with their verbiage that they talk about black people? Well, basically, I look at it like this. Let's say this. Let's say if all my life I grew up in the ghetto, I grew up in the hood, and I've seen other black people, do me any kind of harm. Say I was a little different. I was nerdy and I wasn't with the cool crowd, and I probably got teased and picked or even bullied by my people. And then when I start going around other races, the Caucasian races, they champion me. They treat me better because I was a token, probably the white you can hang as a validation that says that group was not racist because they got that one black friend, maybe. But I know, and I've seen a lot of Caucasian, they treat you good. Like if you are the only one or the two, I mean, for the most part, especially the new millennials and stuff. That's why you see a lot of Caucasians out there with the black people at these colleges, Berkeley and all that. They going ham on the races themselves, and a lot of them pretty good people. Like, hey, right is right, wrong is wrong. It's not about race to them. It's just like right is right, wrong is wrong. Not saying all white people are, but if you are like, you have friends like that and they accept you as family, any kind of Caucasian, especially if they got money, they're very generous. It's like different from hanging with a lot of blacks. So if they treat you good, but then back in your mind, you probably got, one of your cousins probably got killed by a person that looked like you, or they probably broke in your mom's house, a person that looked like you. So you'll have some kind of contempt for black society, especially if you give a white society and they start treating you better. Or like Kanye West, probably none of the girls, he probably wasn't popular, you know what I mean? And he said in the song, that's that remake of Gold Digger. He said, when you get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. He was talking about himself. He did that. And now that he got a little money, he have a successful line, and he learned, the Democratic Party is not for us. That does not mean to go jump on the Republican Party. He just recently came out and said that Donald Trump used him. But putting on that Make America Great Again hat, that didn't really have nothing to do with his political aspirations or beliefs. All that is he see how outraged a lot of black people was in this country, and probably had start thinking back how he was treated back before he had money, and probably had a little contempt for black girls. He wasn't probably popular. You could tell the dude was weird. Probably wasn't that popular. Probably wasn't chosen and didn't get the girls he wanted. Probably had his heart broke by a black girl. Probably was beat up by a lot of black dudes and punked out. So when he got money and got around, he got white people working for him. He worth $1 billion and some dollars. He probably just had an epiphany, like, you know what? Oh, they make a big. I can wear this Make America Great Again hat. I can get pub, right? I get publicity, and I can make these niggas mad because these niggas can't tell me what to do. And this is my way to show my contempt for my people. Yeah, because Harriet Tubman, she ain't do no but But let them niggas go let them free to go work for other white people. You know what I'm saying? Slavery was a choice. You know what I'm saying? That shit is deeply ingrained, man. It's like, you know, when they say black on black crime, you never hear white on white crime. You never hear Mexican on Mexican crime. It's not even a thing. And anywhere you stay, right? If you get if the first place you probably get into an argument at is in your home because you're around these people more. You're around your family more. You're probably getting because if you have to stay up under the same roof, of course, it's a greater chance or the percentage is high getting in an argument in your home because these are people you're around. So the Caucasians, they have inner wars, and they, like I said earlier, internal wars where they kill, they steal from each other just like every other group. But the group that you stole stuff from the beginning and plagiarized, they have to put a buffer class, and we have to be the lowest of the low. We have to be the backs of America and the backs and the burden to everything bad. That's what comes with being with black. But that's why a lot of people, black people, believe like European cars. That's why we like belts with European names. That's high-end fashion that costs us a lot because if we obtain those things, we are something other than being black. See, that's where the self-hatred comes in at. You know, the counting the money, having the European cars, right? The big Bentleys. You know, we'll pay, like you can see right now, you can see people got Porsche cars, panoramas, and stay in apartments and whatnot. Because those are the things that we accumulate and feel like we are something other than. Because it's not cracking being black. It's not what's up. Especially in these times. Even black Hispanics will call themselves, say they have no zero Africa. They are not Africans. People in the DR and the Dominican Republic and swear to God that they are not black. Kamala Harris, she says she's an Indian American. If you look on the when you go sign if you get a job and they have the race boxes, you only see African American. You never see Asian American. You don't see European American. You do not see Hispanic American. You do not see those terms. It's only African American. You understand that? So at the end of the day, we have a lot of, like, on my job where I work, man, I work with around a bunch of little young dudes. And my first day I started, because I had my CDL and was driving, these guys didn't even speak to me. They didn't even bother to speak. And to this day, these guys sit up there in huddles, and I get out the truck, you know, to help them and try to start conversation. And these dudes have a disdainment for me and don't even know me from Adam. I even try to get these guys game and help them. They don't even want my help. And if you look and see and just pay attention to that mentality, then when you look on the news, you can see why the crime rate and the heinous crimes is at an all-time high with the self-hatred, which is the reason why I thought it would be a good podcast, because now you got black people. I had one of my partners, man. I grew up with him since elementary school. I'm talking about this guy always been a laid-back guy. And just to show you how we've been infiltrated and how we have been picked against one another, because they tell us don't discuss politics and religion, because those are the two mechanisms that they use to rule us, physically and mentally. And we the only group that would get on social media and every year, cycle out the cycle, try to vote shame, tell people our ancestors died for us to vote Republican. If you ain't a vote for Biden is a vote for Trump, and then now it's getting more vexed where people are just so emotional because the news, these people, and then they just time 10 and anything stupid Trump done, like the downplay of the COVID, which when y'all learned about COVID, I'm not defending the dude, but I mean, when y'all learned about it and still know about it, y'all still go out and party, y'all still go to the beaches, y'all still go shop, y'all still go drink, y'all still hang out with one another. So even y'all know about the COVID-19, all the deaths, 100,000 deaths. I mean, y'all still do it. So what's the difference? My deal is this: anything the other party do is the other party's job to point the finger. So now you have the news cycle, man. They drive that COVID shit home. So my buddy, man, all I said on my thread on Facebook, I didn't say anything derogatory. I didn't include, right? I didn't disrespect anyone. The only thing that I said, I was trying to make people see from a non-biased standpoint and a perspective where you can understand where I'm coming from. Like, we have to think. We can't be sheep any longer. This is a pivotal time right now in America. So I said, Donald Trump downplayed COVID-19 and his supporters still will go out and blindly vote for him. I said, it's kind of is equivalent to the black people that's going to blindly and still go support Joe Biden, even though Kamala Harris said she's specifically not doing nothing to benefit just black people. She specifically said that, and black people still are gonna go vote for her. And then not even that, they're gonna try to make you vote for her, right? And I said, so if you're looking at them like something wrong with them, at those Trump supporters still gonna vote for him after he downplayed the COVID and got all these people killed, right? You still gonna vote for Biden. So before you say something wrong with them, take a look at the mirror. Oh man, this dude got on my post. And we squashed it. You know, we eventually squashed it, but that's all I said. And in his mind, he thought what I said was, this is what he said he thought I said. He interpreted out that, don't go vote. I was telling people to not go vote. That's what he got out of that. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how we are programmed from the word go. Because if you spoke in your native tongue, you would be probably killed, right? You can't answer to the names that you would answer in your tongue, so they had to change the name. Now, if you hear your original tongue, it'll sound crazy to you. You'll laugh, right? We the only group over here that if we don't know our foreign tongue, and we don't know what nobody else is saying, we don't know what the Asians saying when they speak in their native tongue, we don't know what the Arabs saying, and then when we hear our native tongue, right, it sounds stupid to us. We even make fun of it. So if I tell a black person, this will show you how the mentality is so deep and ingrained. Now tell me if this makes sense. Tell me if this makes sense. If I say the black man who was brought into this country, even though that he is from the equator is, and it gets hot, right? We speak the language of the European. We bear their name. We eat the things that was forced on us in slavery, the scraps like hog maw and pig feet, chitlin and ribs, right? Pig ribs. And we celebrate their customs. It's impossible for a black man to view the earth and the world not out the eyes of his oppressor. You see and view the world, you call on your savior in the oppressor's language. So how, and after all these years, it's the same. Everything is the same. So is that true or false? So if I tell you that is true, so how can you can't even much argue that? And still, our people still believe it. They'll still worship those holidays. They'll still worship that Savior. They'll still read from that Bible that was used to enslave them people and keep their people obedient. Yeah, black people. We still think that book is salvation. We would still do it, even after they show you movies. Even after they show you movies of self-hatred Negroes. Even after you see self-hated Negroes and how they brought down COINTELPRO, brought down black movements, just like Fred Hampton and all these guys that came and infiltrated all our organizations, all our movements to try to get liberation. And we had a person that looked like us, right, that sell us out every time. So even after saying this is repeatedly, it's keep repeating. And right now with the camera phones and the killings are just they on schedule, just happening all around the world on schedule. Like I said, the news came and must report on it. And we still have black people out here killing black people. We still have blacks willing to undermine us for any little person to gain any capital, like the Candace Owens, the Jason Whitlocks. He auditioned so fucking hard on Twitter. It's ridiculous. Like he tried to at first before when he had his little show, he tried to downplay. He had certain few. Now every day he just on Twitter just stirring the pot. Like he is auditioning. He want to get back on network. This dude here is just he worse than Stevenson himself. Like at the end of the day, me myself personally, I feel right. Me, we would never progress as a people as long as those people breathing. We would never progress. We would never when we have people that are dangerous to the culture, right? Because people would like to say, we need to forgive or let her be a freak, like Candace Owens be a free thinker. Just because we don't agree with people like Jason Whitlock, we shouldn't just abandon them and just kick them away like the Gil Kings and the Oprah Winfreys. Man, those the revolt of Haiti in 1804, our people cut those people out. The sellouts, they cut their head off before they even went to war. They cut their head off. And that is just what's going to have to be done. Now, it could be symbolic. Well, we can't have no people like that in our organization, in our movement, because these people are more dangerous to us than anything. Because it's nothing like thinking a person, right, that you sleep with or that you rent with or stay with or riding with is really the one that's going to take you on. Like that's the worst way because you can't see it coming. The people that's right there with you, you know what to expect from those of afar. You can get prepared. But when you have the enemy right up under your nose, man, and it keep repeating itself. And I look at things like when you see black people, like people that's in the present around, like locally, and I see a lot of status these people put on Facebook, man, even you knowing that you can't support Donald Trump and be aligned with racists. It's something like it's somebody that just don't move like that. You cannot say you support Donald Trump and you black and everything that he's doing and sit up here and act like if you support Donald Trump and you got these people out here with khakis, with tiki torches and red hats that say MAGA, well, it can't be a good thing to sit up there and be supporting him with those people. Like that's just common sense. So I understand. That's why I told old buddy. I was like, bro, just because we found out that the Democratic Party is a detriment to our progression, the liberal base is a detriment, and to our base. Well, you can't leave one racist and then go mess with the other race. Who is it? What you want? Your mama told you to do that? So basically what I'm saying, man, it's just like at this point, come on, man. Like, why are we even talking about man, we know Candace Owens, for one, she's opportunities. People like Candace Owens, right? We just have to face it. We have always had that even in the big house. The house Negro, that's the house Negro mentality. And now y'all call it something else. Y'all call it being a free thinker to be a house Negro. And a lot of black people that's in corporate America, they have to whiten it up, right? And they can't speak on certain issues. But then a lot of them, they buy into it because a lot of people start looking, hey, man, I'd rather ride with these racists than ride with you niggas because at least I can get gain and capital when I ride with these people. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's expected. It's expected to have these. But my only thing about self-hate, a lot of it is not is ingrained too deep in a lot of our family, especially with the colorism, with the light skin, dark skin shit. You know what I'm saying? And it never be removed. You can't change nobody's mentality. You can't change the way they think. Just like it's just like you trying to change somebody's language and they up in age. It's gonna be too hard to do. You can't change nobody's language. You can't teach nobody a language that's in their 50s, set in their ways. What they need to learn another language for. Shit, they done been using English this long. So at the end of the day, hey, this is what it is. It worked for me. I ain't trying to hear that shit. And that's where we at with it. But it's like it's crunch time. It's crunch time. So I really wish I would have had my cousin Mandy on, because I just really wanted to get her perspective and just break it down. Like, how can't you say that this woman is not an opportunist, and how can you say this woman is good for our society? I don't give a damn what a person did, but no person deserves to die like George Floyd. That man ain't deserve to die. I don't give a fuck what he done. That's why you have a penal system. Well, in that case, shit, when somebody do something bad, they ought to not even have court. They just have a firing squad. That's basically what she's saying. But she never come out. She never come out and says it about any Caucasian. And that's what you got to watch for. The only way she'll say something about a Caucasian if they're liberal. She'll never say nothing. Like she's not gonna say the thing about Epstein, because the joke is tied in with Donald Trump. And that's the thing about it. They have selective interest but when it's against their favor, they don't come out and say nothing. Like, after all these stuff these white folks do, all the stuff the white folks do being called red-handed, they spin the topic. So how is she's a free thinker if she's pandering to these people? And then only mistake you try to use being black when it's only convenient. And my deal is this is my deal. Like, what black folks should be going around is my deal, my thing, because the type of stuff she be saying is really dangerous. Because for one, the majority of white America think all black people are criminal or terrorists. That's what a Black Lives Matter. That's why I tell people, Black Lives Matter is any black person. If you black, you Black Lives Matter. That's just what that is. So the rhetoric that this woman spews, this woman got like 50 million views on one of her videos. And basically, with George Floyd, and if I can talk to Miss Candace Owens, and every time a black person get killed and she defends it, and there's always a reason why, I would say this. I would say, well, what was the reason in the 40s and the 30s and the 20s when we was killed the same way? What was the reason for that? What did we do? All right, for slavery. What did we do for slavery? What was the reason? Because it's like you always have some kind of benign idea to spin and to make something what is not. So why was what was the reason for Jim Crow? Right? What was the reason for them to go burn down Tulsa, Oklahoma? What was the reason for in Mississippi out there in Rosewood? What was the reason? I mean, killing little babies, alligator bait. So that those kind of people, their ancestors and their offspring are still walking. They were just 150 years ago. They're still living with us. So there's no more racism in America, really. Like, I mean, so if you support Candace Owens and she says there's no such thing as racism. So basically, you telling me that there's no more racism? I'm tripping. Candace Owens, right? But she's just a free thinker. Come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, I don't even really waste time with people, but because, man, it was my info. I wanted to have her own. She acted like something was wrong with her phone, and it's cool because I'm not going to go back and forth with you on Facebook, because on Facebook, you can just easily stop typing. You can easily stop typing. But when you have somebody on video, and then you can have a discussion and let everybody be the judge of it, and I can just break it down. Like, I can just break it down piece by piece, and to see and really see, like, really what's in your mind, what's really in your heart. What did Black society do to you where you feel like the things that people like Candace Owens is not hurtful or harmful? Like Herman Cain. Herman Cain died cooning. He died cooning. He died cooning, and these people didn't say Donald Trump. He didn't even tweet about this dude. You don't even hear no more about him. When was his funeral? When did they bury Herman Cain? Do anybody know? Do anybody know when they buried Herman? It's not a retirement for cooning, because when they threw, which is like a diamond in silk, they kicked their ass off a fox. So at the end of the day, that's just basically what happens. And I don't care how many white folks you hang with and how good they make you feel. You will always get your nigga wake up call. It will happen. I know Dr. Sheriff Clark. I know he got his. He is a vicious coon. I wonder what my cousin think about him. David Clark. This guy's a vicious coon. He will kill up a whole area code behind his beloved white owners. I swear. That is sad. And I like to know the psychic, like really just pick their brain. I wish I was on a national syndicate where I had a little pull like Charlamagne the God. That's the kind of people I would have on my show because you can learn from specimens of that such. Like, how do you think? Like the type of stuff. Like, what in your childhood make you say a lot of things that you say about your own people? Man, you know you black. That is crazy. Like, even if I would like to get a clear cut case where a black person really was brutalized without no before the video or what happened, what transpired, just blatantly killed. And I would like to just present that to him and just get his opinion on it. I just really would like to know. Like that particular case where it's cut and dry, it ain't no ins and outs. It's just what happened. It was, this guy did this wrong. And I would just really like to see somebody with that type of mindset, that self-hatred is beloved, is bestowed upon their spirit. I would like to know, what would somebody like him say? And that's a lot of things I don't like about the industry and all these networks, because they water down, certain things that they tell you not to ask in these interviews. And really and truly, I like to keep things simple. Well, you don't complicate the conversation and try to dilute it doing a lot of talking in circles, because everything is really clear cut, especially, when what's going on. It's out in the open. So it's like nothing, you can't hide anything no more. You can't, if I ask you one question, you can't start talking about this because we seeing it with our own eyes in real time. And I know self-hate, a black person with self-hate, they really are cutthroat. The guy that sold out Fred Hampton, you can go look on YouTube, and this dude here, he had his legs crossed, smoking a cigarette with a smile on his face, telling that he infiltrated the Black Panthers. He had a smile on his face. Like this dude, like it's their evil. Like it's like, man, they would rather to get all black people wiped off, and they just want to be the good Negro pet. And it's just like for anything, man, we sell each other out for their wealth. So along with self-hatred and the ability to downgrade and disparage your community, you would be even more successful. So it's incentives that come to having that self-hatred, meaning even on a job. 9 times out of 10, if it's a lot of majority of black people, they would not choose the black person and appoint him as the supervisor if he's cool with the bunch. They usually get the ones that's a little weird, a little off, and that's not really popular amongst the pack. Anytime they have a thing called a gang injunction in LA, and what a gang injunction is, if it's more than 3 people, black people, that's who the gang injunction is for, black residents. And there's more than 3 of them walking in a group to the store, to the park to play basketball, and the cop, that is a felony. That is called a gang. They have the right to do anything they can search you, run your name, make sure you don't have any warrants, and take you to jail for being in a group more than 5 people. Not only is that to show you with the self-hatred, but to keep it in your mentality, because at the end of the day, every other group can be more than 3 and will not be classified as a gang. But not only is that a reason to harass you, but that is a reason to keep the penal system open and harass you for anything. So therefore, it is imposing on us to keep the self-hatred that we have and say, well, y'all gang because y'all more than. What if you cousins? What if you just left football practice? What if you just left basketball practice and you go and catch the bus? And you have to, everybody need to ride to catch the bus, but y'all happen to be in the group. What? One person got to walk on this side of the street, one person got to walk on this side of the street. Man, this shit here, it's pretty much cut and dry. So for somebody like Jason Whitlock, you lost your job, Fox One. So all that cooning you done, right? They still got rid of you, and you still on the bullshit. Like, it's in you now, man. So the only thing that you can do is try to get a buzz and perform on social media to show them how loyal you is. Because even after you got rid of me, Master, I'm still taking your marching orders. And I know you see me. Master. Give me another chance, but I go hard on them. This time I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink at them. Man, y'all, I mean, I'm just at a point now, man. I don't really like social media, man. If I see a bunch of just a lot of coonish rhetoric, I just delete. I don't. It served me no purpose to go back and forth. It served me no purpose. You know, I look at people. We got two type of blacks. We got the Negro, and then we got the coon. The Negro. A lot of the Negroes really don't know any better. You know, a lot of Negroes that got their head in their ass, or a lot of them got their head in that Bible, and they're just being good, docile Negroes, and they know they have to play the game. You understand what I'm saying? They can't say certain things, and they have to play the game. They can't be around here challenging the system, because at the end of the day, they're trying to be successful under the system. And don't get me wrong, we are all in the system. I can talk about the system, and I'm against the system, but I'm a part of the system, because as long as you anywhere you is, or if you're not in China, right, or Iran, you are under the system of America's Western powers. So I don't give a damn if you're an entrepreneur. You still need their capital, their banks, and you go off their taxing systems. So there's no way to, just because a person, and that's another thing that blows my mind, because we are all a part of the system. But the only thing about me, I am aware of it, and I am against the system. But you feel like you are with the system, and that you will defend the system and act like it's nothing wrong to be plugged into the matrix. That's the difference between me and you. So you got the Negro, then you have the coon. The coon know better. The coon do it for clout. The coon do it for capital. The coon tear his own people down. He's a black mule with a white mouth. That has been going on forever. So that's just gonna kind of narrow it off to say, man, you know, we at a time right now. We just need to break the barrier. We need to break the barriers and cut and weed out all the bunch. And we don't have time to be peddling around and arguing over is Candace Owens a coon or a sellout, free thinkers. We got to get that out of here. I can understand a black person speaking hard truth, because that's what I do. That's what I be doing. But I'm not finna sit up here and be riding with no goddamn Donald Trump. I'm not finna be up here caping for no goddamn Candace Owens. I'm not finna be up here talking about Stephen A. Smith, what he done and he did this, because truth of the matter, ain't nobody that's speaking that real shit, that real black shit, gonna have any kind of, you're not gonna know them on a national basis. They're not gonna be on these people networks. They're not gonna be getting millions a year to speak what black folks really hear. So we just need to cut that shit out. Like, anytime you see a white person give a black person a fucking platform, you trust me, they got a script. And y'all can take it for what it's worth. So if racist white people or champion people like a Candace Owens, it can't be good. If the white nationalists, the outright held Trump or supporting Donald Trump, and you a nigga talking about Donald Trump ain't this and that, and you black, right, and you supporting Donald Trump, it can't be good. That's not even nothing to argue about. Like, it's really a waste of fucking time. Like, I don't even, like, well, I want to talk to a person, and because I can get it out, I'm just gonna keep it simple. And it's really not nothing to you. Like, you can try to sit up there talk about the Dems and the liberal and they lying and fake news and all that bullshit. Man, fuck that, what y'all talking about. That is the dumbest shit to be arguing over if Donald Trump is racist or not, and he don't like white people or not, and y'all arguing over who master is the best, who oppressor is the best. And that is not a conversation I'm gonna have. We too late in the game. Y'all see my cards won too, yeah. I know y'all mad at me, but feel me? Don't laugh at my glasses and shit, because I put these on. They got these made. Them look like some Eric Dickerson gargles. But I'm rocking them. Fuck it. But yeah, man, this is gonna be the show tonight. I'm gonna see if I can get my boy Kamal today. He had to work that week when I was supposed to have him on. And I was gonna change it today, but I said, fuck it, man. I'll still do it. I know football on and a lot of people won't tune in. And I said, well, really and truly, man, I want like-minded people in my room and I want to try to get my YouTube channel popping. I too much really don't want to do it on Facebook because I want to start trying to monetize my shit, and I'm gonna start putting more content on here other than my podcast. So I just wanna, man, just get real topics, man, and get think tanks together, and where we can think and talk away into the right direction because you can't change the actions of a people if you can't change the mentality. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about things that's uncomfortable and we was taught not to talk about. Politics being the main one. Like I can kind of get past the religion because at the end of the day, man, you cannot change no one's fear of death. And as long as we know we're gonna die, that's just something we're gonna do. We're gonna believe that because they done told us about hell and brimstone and lake of fire. So and a lot of people say they just rather die being wrong than being right, or however, whatever. But the politics wise, man, we've been a crush for so long. We've been a doormat for so long. We have people amongst us. We have people amongst us, and not even the people we see on TV, but a lot of black faces in the community. A lot of these dudes that whether inflict pain and travesty against one another, but are meek and docile when around other groups. And it's pretty much the same mentality as even a coward that wouldn't go out and do anything, but just to sit up there and undercut and snitch on a job and try to get your own people fired. That's self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Like we are just like pit bulls. We are trained to do that. We want to go at each other's neck. We just do things out of spite for nothing. Like try to get a man fired, or take pictures and try to keep the kiss. Like who thinks like that? Like we all have a job to do. What in a person that you hate a person that much to want to see him lose his job and he have never done you nothing? Like that is like, and it's getting worse. Like, and I can't understand how it's getting worse and everything that's going on with black people. Like that is the most troubling thing. That right there have me mind boggled. Like, why are we so against each other? And you got the NBA and you got these commercials with Black Lives, and you seeing these people killing us on TV, and you still like, damn, we would think, but damn, maybe we ought to, man, unify. We gotta be, we all we got. We gotta stick together. But on the other end, you're just going at each other even harder. Like on Facebook, we just like, man, it's like, damn, like we going crazy in retro terms subconsciously because you seeing Black Lives Matter, right? You seeing all these entertainers and stuff speaking up about Black Lives Matter. You seeing it everywhere. So why, if we really doing that, what if subconsciously we feel the same way the white people feel when they see this Black Lives Matter? We get so goddamn irritated. Like, man, stop saying Black Lives Matter. How Black Lives Matter and we started killing each other. Man, ain't Black Lives Matter. Black Lives don't matter to black people. But that shit is really disrupting our spirit to the point where we on each other. You ain't gonna vote for Biden. Oh, you crazy, you dumb nigga. Like, man, this shit is fucking intense. Like, you would never thought, we finally making a breakthrough where it's going globally after all the centuries that we suffered in this country. Now, everything is coming out. Like I said, they removing statues. They put Black Lives Matter on McDonald's commercial. And it's like black on black haters at an all-time fucking high. And then if you say that, how Black Lives Matter, the black lives, we keep killing each other, a nigga will get mad at you. Another black person to get mad at you. I mean, man, it's crazy. Like, it ain't no way in hell I'm gonna sit up here and entertain nobody on my timeline that speaks the rhetoric of a Candace Owens or Jason Whitlock. Like, I see this dude named Lawrence Viller of Valier, and y'all just need to delete that dude. I wouldn't even waste no fucking time. That is a waste of fucking time, energy. That is a guy that should be ignored, just like a motherfucker lump on the log. Like, we have no time. Cut those people off. Do not deal with those people. There's a lot of people that kind of speak semi-coonish shit, and I kind of give them a pass because I know they are Negroes. they're good Christian Negroes and want to be hopeful. And that I have a dream and little black kids. I had a dream, little black kids and white kids hold hands. That shit fucked our generation up. That's why the man came out and said he integrated his people to a burning motherfucking house. But y'all don't want to hear that part. So just say this self-hate, it will never end, just like racism. As long as you have racism and white folks that don't have blacks, you have the mind of people that looks like you that have the mind of Caucasians, and it'll never end. But what we need to do is separate ourselves from those people, not just in the community, but even on the job. We have to identify those people and keep our distance and watch them like you watch the enemy. This is going to be a wrap up of tonight's broadcast, The Red Room, with your gracious host, Brito, the Underdog. Stay tuned. Tune in next Sunday. I'm going to make a few phone calls and see if I can get me my good buddy, man, because I really want to have that show. He got some good game, and I know it's therapeutic for him because he's very passionate, and I want to see the progress he's making about the genealogy test. Results that he pulled. So I'm gonna call him, man. I'm gonna probably call him tomorrow and get him on here. And if he won't be available Sunday, I'll probably try to get him in a day that he's free throughout the week, because I think it's supposed to do a lot of rain, and I'll be home early, hopefully. And I'll get him on here, man, and I'll just do a little pop-up and do that show. And I can tell y'all now, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to get him on. We probably gonna be about 2-3 hours because, like I say, he long-winded. He got some good game, and I'll even be learning. But man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I got one person, but that's cool because I'm gonna upload it on Facebook, and people can go back if you're listening or you watching this. You want to go back and listen, you can come on my page, or you can go on Spotify and pull up the Red Room Podcast. Check it out. When you're on your way to work, or you link somebody else, share it, turn somebody on to it. I'm always open to different ideas, and if somebody want to come on here and be interviewed and with the topic of choice, man, y'all just give me a DM or hit my line, man. But I'm gonna leave y'all with something tonight, man. There is no point in arguing with a coffee table. Good night.